Welcome back to all my tiny tots, little ones, big kids, tweens, teens, everyone in between, CGs, lips, and adults. So I kind of caught my mom's cold, so I'm getting sick again. So this might not sound any good. But today we are reading chapters 5, 6, and 7. We are so close to the beginning. I'm extremely excited to share with you my newer stuff, because the older bits I don't really like them. Like, there are certain chapters, they have their moments that I really like them, but for the most part they're really bad. I'll be honest, they're really bad. I wasn't a very experienced writer when I started this book. Anyways, I hope you'll enjoy, and hopefully I'll remember to do timestamps this week, as well as go back through and jot down timestamps for all the other videos so I can catch them up. I can't tell you guys how annoying it is, though, to listen to yourself talk in a recording. It is so annoying. Alright, anyways, let's get into the stories now. Chapter 5, Dream Not Found. CG Dream, Little George Not Found. By chat, George yelled at it happily as he ended the stream. It had been another successful stream, but he felt tired, and the warm, safe feeling wrapped around his brain as he felt himself slip. I'm going to find Dada, he thought, as he grabbed his passy out of his desk drawer and toddled out of the bedroom and towards his Dada's room. He knocked carefully on the door. Come in, Dream said from the other side of the door. George carefully opened the door, toddling into the room, rubbing at his eyes sleepily. Dream smiled lightly, moving out of his desk chair and walking over to embrace the mentally younger male. Hey, Goggy, Dream murmured as he gently kissed the top of George's head. Did Mbavo Dada? I'm sorry. George mumbled. No, my sweet boy, you're not bothering me, Dream said, placing gentle kisses all over the mentally younger male's face. George giggled. Dada, that tickles, he squealed out. Oh yeah? Dream asked, tickling George's stomach lightly. Mm-hmm. George continued to laugh until he could hardly breathe, his passy on the floor. Dream stopped tickling the ladder and picked up the simple custom passy he had gotten for the little. Rinsing it off before handing it back to him, the little took it, placing it into his mouth. He sucked on it lightly, giggling. Aw, so cute, Baba, Dream cooed. George erupted into another fit of giggles, squirming and happy stimming while he was in Dream's arms. He snuggled into them contently. Dream smiled, tilting the mentally younger closer to him. You want to sit in my lap while I finish editing our video? George nods, babbling softly. Want to stay with Dada? Dream smiles lightly, walking back over to his desk chair with the little still in his arms. Just a slight mention that there is almost like a force towards getting the little to regress in this one, but it's not like a bad force. It's like kind of like just affection, showing that you care, that kind of thing. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm sorry, y'all. Chapter 6, Little Sapnap, CG's Dada Bait, Bad Boy Halo, and Papa Skeppy, because it's canon that Bad Boy Halo is Sapnap's dad. And I really like Skep Halo. So, yeah. Hate on me all you want, y'all. They're cute together. They have a great friendship going on. So, yeah. Ever since they adopted Sapnap when he was younger, Bad knew when something was bothering his son, and since he had come out about his age regression a few years before, he knew all the signs that his kiddo was stressed out. Bad sighed again, rubbing at his face. He was tired and wanted to figure out how to help his kid distress. That's when it hit him. He could have set something up. Sapnap woke up late that morning, tired as he had been the day before. People had been rude and demanding lately. His latest videos were rushed and poor quality. He felt like the smallest thing could send him plummeting into his little space so he could find some sort of comfort in the world. He got up, pulling on a hoodie and some shorts before heading downstairs to try and find something for breakfast. Keyword tried. Once he got downstairs, he saw his dad and his papa sitting at the table. They were having a quieter conversation as Bad noticed Sapnap and ended the conversation abruptly, looking in his direction. Morning, Sappy, Bad said. Oof. Morning, Dad, Sapnap responded. Bad frowns a bit before saying, How are you, kiddo? Sapnap grimaced a bit. I'm fine, he sort of mumbled. Bad frowned further, pulling his son into a hug. You sure you Muffinhead? He asked. Sapnap nodded, hugging his dad back, feeling his emotions unlock and rush over him in waves. Tears began slip down his cheeks, hitting his dad's sweatshirt silently. Bad hugged Sapnap, gently but firmly, rubbing his back and whispering soft reassurances and praises into his ears as he cries. Skeppy joins their hug, helping to maneuver the now mentally younger boy up into his arms, holding him like a koala bear, or like a baby koala bear. Once Phil's tears had quieted down to the occasional sniffle, Skeppy carefully pulls away from the hug to look at his son's face. "You okay, little flame?" he asked. Sapnap nods tiredly and silently. Skeppy nods as well, walking back towards the mentally younger's bedroom to grab him some of his little items. He carefully looks through Sapnap's box of little things before finding the things he was looking for. A red passy with an orange and yellow stone embellishment with a flame centerpiece, little flame written on the handle in white and silver letter beads along with his matching passy clip and favorite stuffed puppy that he'd had since he was around 5. Skeppy carefully slid the pacifier into his son's mouth, offering a small smile when the boy took it and the stuffed dog without so much as a whine, and sucked on his passy contently. It wasn't usual for the little boy to be nonverbal, so Skeppy let it be. He returned to the living room where he found Bad setting up one of setting up one of the boys' favorite movies, My Neighbor Totoro. Bad carefully took Sapnap from Skeppy, sitting him down on the couch with the little boy in his arms and a ready-to-go bottle on the coffee table. Bad pulled Sapnap's favorite blanket around his shoulders, one that had flames all over it, and held the boy close to him. As time went on, the only noises heard were soft, incoherent babbles from Sapnap, and the movie playing in the background as the two males gave their full attention to their son. Sapnap yawned a bit, rubbing his eyes with a closed fist. "Oh, night-night," he mumbled softly, muffled by his passy. Bad offered a small smile and nodded. "Sure, Muffinhead, let's get you tucked in," he responded. Sapnap giggled a bit before yawning again. Skeppy scooped the small boy up, taking him upstairs to his bedroom and laying him down on the bed, Bad following next to him. Together they carefully tucked the boy in, making sure he had everything before Bad grabbed his children's book off the shelf and sat down in a nearby rocking chair. Beginning to read, Skeppy sat with Sapnap, gently running his fingers through the little stark brown locks. Around 15 minutes later, Bad closed the book, having finished the end, and looked up to the bed. He found that his husband and his son were fast asleep. He smiled and resituated the blankets over them before sitting back in the rocking chair and reading his book quietly. Almost an hour later, Sapnap started to wake up a bit. "Dada," he whined softly. Bad looked up from his book. "Yes, but," he answered. "Lay with me and Papa?" he asked. Bad closed his book, setting it down in the chair as he got up, carefully climbing into bed beside his two favorite people. "Of course, Bubs. Sweet dreams. Dada loves you," Bad murmured, placing a gentle kiss to the boy's forehead. Oh, y'all, that was a struggle bus. But I will link this channel in the description and probably a pinned comment, but I found Joy does a lot of like Skep Halo content, but it's gotcha videos. Don't knock it till you try it. Their videos are absolutely amazing. Their stories are absolutely amazing. I love them. Yeah, just go check them out. Give them a chance. Especially if you like that last story. None of it's like Agere. It's more like, yeah, it's like if Sapnap was still a kid when he grew up with Bad and stuff, like way younger and stuff. It's all really good. I love it. This is one of the few chapters that actually has little Philza in it, so y'all are being treated today, I guess, because most of these, the ones I try to write, don't turn out. So yeah. Chapter 7, Little Philza, CG Mumza. Tired. He had recently gotten back from a trip and the jet lag was really kicking in. He didn't fly all that often, but when he did, he was often left feeling drained and exhausted. The following afternoon, after he'd gotten back from his trip, Phil had just finished a 3-hour stream when he felt his headspace drop. He remembered that Kristen had left and would be back soon, so his 5-year-old mind decided he was big enough to get a juice box and some fish crackers from the kitchen on his own. Yeah, I forgot to mention this is like an IRL AU, but with the character, not the actual people. Armed with his favorite blanket, Passy, and stuffed animal, Philza made his way to the kitchen, climbing up onto the counter to reach the bowls and the fish crackers. The fish crackers are goldfish, if you haven't figured that out. There was one time I had a student teacher at school, and they told me that they had a roommate from Canada who called goldfish fish crackers, and I love it. I'm sorry, y'all. I love it. I'm American, but I love that. It's cute. I love it. And I'm sorry if it offends anybody. He carefully grabbed a bowl and the fish crackers, placing them both on the counter before carefully climbing down himself. He poured some fish crackers into the bowl, spilling a few on the counter and grabbing a juice box from the fridge. He toddled into the living room and plopped down on the couch. Philza curled up after grabbing the TV remote. He wanted to watch the Wildcats. He turned the show on, munching on his crackers happily as he waited for his mama to get home. Around 20 minutes later, Philza had finished his snack and his drink as he waited for his mama to get home. He was starting to get sleepy and dropping lower into his headspace. He laid on the couch, closing his eyes. He quickly fell asleep and didn't notice that the front door had opened. "Phil, I'm home," Kristen yelled out in the almost silent house as she placed her keys on a hook by the door. She pulled off her jacket and shoes before walking further into the house. She made her way into the living room, noticing the sleeping Little on the couch. She coos softly and places a blanket over the other. "Sleep well, baby bird," she whispered, leaning down and kissing his forehead before returning to the kitchen where she did a few chores. Around 2 hours later, the sleepy Little awoke. Kristen was sitting in a chair in the living room, reading a book. She glanced up as she noticed that Philza was awake and offered a small smile. "Sleep well, Bubba?" she asked softly. Philza nodded, rubbing the remaining sleep from his eyes and yawning a bit. Had a dream about ooh and tacky and boo. We met up and we went and got ice creams. Phil beamed happily, giggling a bit as he hugged his stuffy. Kristen smiled and gently patted her lap, picking up a children's book. Philza scrambled off the couch and into Mum's lap, curling up and getting comfortable. Kristen opened the book and began to read. If only I could have that. I don't mean to vent or anything here, but like, if Mommy CG actually lived near me, life would be easier, y'all. I'm trying to figure out if I need to cough again or not. But quick water break before we move on to the next one. Wow, I drank like half my water. Okay. Deep breaths here. Alright, so before I start reading this one, I have another little plug-in, another little promotion here. There was one, so Such Scribbles, an Archive of Our Own, is an amazing author, amazing writer. They recently posted one that was about Quackity and Wilbur. I'm not sure if it was Little Space based or not, but I know they have written stuff that was like Little Space based in the past, but it's called Desert Days. It's phenomenal, and I'm really excited to see kind of how the story will evolve. Also, just here's another one for you all. If you're looking for more content for fanfics, The Only Human on Archive of Our Own has this series called Strom, and it is about mafia boss Eric and Tubbo, Tommy, Wilbur. Basically, it's just a mafia AU, but it features Eric as the main character and Foolish as like the love interest. And as you go further into the series, Little Space is brought up and mentioned, and I absolutely love it. They also have a couple stories where they focus mainly on the Eternal Duo, which, if you didn't know, was Foolish and Eric, but it's Little Eric and CG Foolish, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite duos, if y'all couldn't tell. But yeah, so there's a few. I'll leave it in the description, like the name, and hopefully I can eventually actually leave a link for y'all too. So I hope you all enjoy. And if you have any suggestions for me myself, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always looking for more to read. Alright, now that that's done, I guess we'll just get back into the story. Chapter 8, Quackfur. C.G. Wilbur said Little Quackity. Busy as ever, over the past month, Quackity was stressed out. Running a country was more difficult than it seemed. Quackity sighed for what felt like the millionth time that night. It was well past 2 a.m., and he was tired but behind on his work. His hands found their way into his hair, pulling at the strands as he tried to read through yet another law proposal for the 5th time. The words blurred together, and the lines began to move before his eyes. Quackity felt his eyes fill up with tears. He hated this, being so tired that he couldn't continue to work. He was pathetic. Wilbur walked into the room, quickly making his way to Quackity's side as he noticed the tears. He carefully approached the other, gently removing Quackity's hands from his hair. Quackity looked up, his facade cracking as tears made their way down his face. Wilbur's heart broke at the sight. He quickly made his way around the desk, pulling the younger male's chair back and crouching down before him. Hey, let's take a break, Wilbur asked, his voice and tone softening. No, I have to get back to work. Please leave. Quackity answered, venom coating his voice. Quackity, you can't be a good president if you're overworking yourself, Wilbur said. Quackity's ears burned as he realized what Wilbur was saying was true. More tears threatened to spill down his face as he looked back at Wilbur's face, finally bringing himself to meet Wilbur's eyes. Come on, bud, let's get out of here. We can go home and change you into something more comfortable, and maybe watch a movie while we go to bed, okay? Wilbur murmured softly as he pulled the younger into a gentle hug. Quackity sighed a bit before nodding, feeling his smaller headspace creep up on him. Please, Will, Quackity mumbled, more tears running down his face. Wilbur nods, offering soft reassurances and praises as he picks up the little into his arms. Quackity buries his face in his caregiver's neck. As Will stands walking out of Quackity's office, he walks down few flights of stairs and out of the building. He carefully places Quackity down in the passenger seat of the car, Quackity letting out a small whine as he does so. Wilbur walks over to the other side, climbing into the driver's seat and heading home. Half an hour later, they had arrived home, Quackity's head resting against the window of the door. Wilbur smiles a bit, quietly climbing out of the car and walking around to the passenger side. He carefully picked the little up, carrying him into the house. Quackity awoke a bit, whining quietly. Wilbur quickly changed Quackity and tucked the little in. Quackity snuggling closer to his CG when he climbed into bed next to him. Alright, and that's the end of this one. So I will leave all of those recommendations in the comments and probably the description. In the pinned comment and description. Also, if you haven't watched the latest Denki's Not Happy, I have more recommendations of where I got my inspiration from for that video posted in both the description and the pinned comment. Make sure to check them out and show their channel some love because they're absolutely amazing people and they deserve it. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and I am so glad to be posting for you all